please give it up for Mr. Peter Ford. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, the acts are getting younger. They were talking about being married for a long time. In September, I was married for 43 years. Ooh. Oh yes. My wife said to me, she said, I want you to take me somewhere really expensive. So I dropped her down at Waitrose. I'm not mean, I tucked a tenner in the handbag. That's the sort of guy I am. Waitrose is a very I can see most of you wouldn't go there. Waitrose is a very posh grocers. And I like Waitrose. If you ask somebody in Waitrose where something is, you might say, where are the baked beans? They might say something like, no, they don't just tell you where they are, as they would say in Tesco's. They take you to where they are. And if you don't want to go, they insist. And if there's two of them, they drag you. And the other thing that I've noticed about Waitrose is they wax their oranges. They were hairy. No, but they wax their oranges. And I said to a guy in Waitrose, I said, why do you wax your oranges? And he said, it's because elderly people dribble. And he was looking at me at the time. And I said, listen to me, young man. I said, listen to me, I don't dribble. At least not from that end. The other thing that annoys me about Waitrose sort of checkout is little old ladies. Little old ladies like to, you can always tell a little old lady as they walk past, is that unmistakable scent of lily of the valley and herring. You can always tell them. And have you noticed that they like to give the exact change at the checkout? They don't just get out of the car, they pay in cash and they count out every last penny, and they usually have several purses. And sometimes they're shopping for the neighbours and they've got one or two others about their person. The blessing for them is, because they're stone deaf, they can't hear the back of the 17-mile queue shouting, kill the fucking bitch. They can't actually hear that, which is a blessing. I sometimes do go shopping with the wife. I think it's a pleasure for her, that's why I go. And I like to nip round and buy some booze. And of course the wife disapproves of this because alcohol has never touched her fucking lips. And I like to share a little tip with you, with the fellas in the audience. If you want to sort of get a bit of control over the situation, go to the chiller cabinet in the supermarket and take a packet of sausages out. Slit open the sausage and take out a sausage and nip up behind a little old lady. Behind me there, a little old lady who might be a little bit close to where the wife's standing. Go up behind the little old lady and say, hello, gorgeous. and then slip the pork sausage into her hand. While she's screaming, I nip round to where the drink section is when I've left a try. And I can fill that up and get it out of the car before anybody notices. And when I come back, the wife is usually still explaining, but he's not usually like that. In our supermarket, we have a pharmacy. Now, I was in there the other day and there was a guy standing there at the pharmacy counter and he was saying to the pharmacist, he said, "I want a condom that big." And he said, "That just about fit a mouse." He said, "I know, we're overrun with them." Now I slipped that gag in because I wasn't sure at this stage of the proceedings how well I did. There's another thing that I want to talk to you about, and that is doctors' surgeries. Now, when you're a young person, you never go to the doctors, and you probably don't even know where the doctor resides. You don't even know the address. But when you're older, you're in there all the time, your pulse, you're throbbing varicose veins, everything's going, everything's dropping over, falling off. And you go up to make an appointment with the receptionist. And the receptionist always says, "And what's wrong with you?" Now, I find that embarrassing, because you don't really want to discuss it with the receptionist. So there's another little tip for you. I always say, "There's something crawling around in my underwear." I find that they don't ask anymore. The doctors aren't the same as they were, say, in the 1950s. I remember terribly practical people, doctors. You know, you'd go into the doctor's surgery and he'd be sitting there smoking his pipe. Fingers all brown with nicotine. At least I think it was nicotine. And he'd have some very sensible remedies. For example, there's some very sensible remedies. He would hide behind the door. Whenever an old person came in, he'd pull the rug away. So they get used to having a fall. Very practical. I went there once as a young man with chronic constipation. I hadn't been for days. And he said, "I'm terribly sorry to tell you this, but you've only got 48 hours to live." That did the trick. The other thing he used to do is, every time I went there, which modern doctors don't do, every time I went there, he'd say, "Drop your trousers. Let's just have a quick check." And he'd hold my balls and he'd ask me to cough. And he did this every single time I saw him. Terribly embarrassing once he passed me at the bus stop. Awful situation. The other thing he used to do, if you went there for sort of inoculations and things like that, he'd say, "Drop your trousers," and he'd say, "Just a little prick." I said to him years later, I said, "You're going to get a terrible complex, because I thought that when I dropped my trousers, he said, 'Just a little prick,' that you were inferring that I was under-endowed." I said, "Yes, that's right, yes." Coming out of the doctor's surgery that day, there was just two men waiting in the waiting room, and one said to the other, "What are you in for?" He said, I've got crabs." He said, "You don't need to see the doctor for crabs. Brown sugar, just rub it in." He said, "Will that kill them?" He said, "No, it rots their teeth, they'll get a good night's sleep."